Welcome to today's explainer on cloud computing virtualization basics. If you follow the tech space, you probably already know it's this silent engine running behind the scenes. But honestly, understanding exactly how it divides and conquers our digital world, that is absolutely crucial to mastering the cloud itself. So let's just dive right in.
To get our heads around this, I want to start with a question. What does a computer server have in common with a hotel? I know, it sounds like the setup to a really bad joke. But seriously, think about it for a second. How does a massive physical structure built of brick and steel relate to a piece of computer hardware humming away in a dark data center? Well, the answer actually comes down entirely to how we divide and use space.
Think about a physical hotel, right? Just one massive building. Now, renting that entire structure out to just one single person, that would be literally insane and incredibly inefficient. So instead, hotel management takes that single physical space and divides it up into multiple distinct virtual spaces. You've got your individual guest rooms, big conference centers for businesses, bustling restaurants. Each space acts totally independently, giving different people their own private, functional environment, but they are all housed within the exact same physical footprint. And you know what? Virtualization does the exact same thing, but for computer hardware.
So bringing it to the tech side, virtualization is basically a technology that allows us to create a virtual version of a physical resource, like a server or a storage device. By doing this, multiple users or applications can actually use the hardware at the exact same time. It completely wipes out the need for everyone to have their own separate, dedicated physical device. Just like multiple guests sharing one hotel building while chilling in their own private rooms, multiple users can share one physical server while operating entirely inside their own private virtual environments. It's kind of brilliant.
Now, looking at the key concepts versus the types of virtualization, we're operating on a few different layers here. Conceptually, we can virtualize hardware, software, or entire networks. And in practice, this translates directly to server virtualization, storage virtualization, and network virtualization. We are basically taking the core, rigid components of IT infrastructure and making them totally malleable.
Let's explore these types of virtualization and see where the magic actually happens. First up, server virtualization. This takes a single, beefy physical machine and carves it up into multiple virtual servers. Then we have storage virtualization. This tricks your system into seeing a massive array of separate storage devices as just one giant single virtual pool of data. And finally, network virtualization, which creates a virtual version of a network, like a VLAN, laying it right over the top of physical cables and switches. Actually, scratch that. It's more like taking rigid iron and turning it directly into highly adaptable software.
Powering the cloud, from physical devices to infinite resources. So why does all this abstraction and division really matter? Well, because it is the absolute foundation of cloud computing. Without virtualization, the cloud as we know it today simply wouldn't exist. No way. It's the exact mechanism we use to create all those virtual servers, storage devices, and networks. Those resources are then pushed out and used by thousands or literally millions of users and apps. We're transitioning from super limited physical boxes to a pool of seemingly infinite resources.
And here are the ultimate benefits in cloud computing. When you mix this abstraction with the cloud, you unlock some massive perks. Number one, greater flexibility. You can spin up a new virtual server in seconds instead of, waiting weeks for physical hardware to ship. Number two is seamless scalability. You can instantly allocate more power the second your app goes viral or traffic spikes. And number three, significant cost savings. You aren't wasting money powering and cooling idle physical machines. You're squeezing every drop of efficiency out of every single watt.
Let's anchor this with a real-world comparison. On the corporate service side, internally, a company might use virtualization to take one super expensive server sitting in an IT closet and slice it up so HR, finance, and marketing all get their own isolated virtual spaces. Now, on the flip side, think of a massive cloud storage service. They are using the exact same tech, but on a massive global scale. They turn entire farms of physical hard drives into distinct virtual storage for millions of external users. The scale changes, sure, but the underlying mechanics, exactly the same.
So virtualization really is the great divider. It transforms rigid physical resources into the flexible, scalable digital environments that power the whole cloud. But before we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quick thought to ponder. If virtualization allows us to infinitely divide and maximize our physical digital resources, what actually limits the potential of the cloud? Like, is there a physical ceiling to all this virtual expansion? Think about it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.